Sure.
I, Samba Gajaga.
I, Samba Gajaga.
Man Samba Gajaga.
Okay, I, Samba Gajaga. Okay, Man Samba Gajaga.
I, Samba Gajaga.
Man Samba Gajaga.
Man Samba Gajaga.
You swear that.
Mange watne.
Mange watne.
I'll speak the truth.
Dega lay wax.
Dega rek lay wax.
The whole truth.
Yep, dega bi rek lay wax.
And nothing but the truth.
Te duma wax dara lu dul dega.
Duma wax dara la moy deug.
So help me God.
Yalla na ma Yalla dimbali.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. We didn't get our usual welcome back from the break, as Bishop decided to do an action, which I will not say on public TV. We're ready to proceed with the witness. He's already been sworn in. Good afternoon, Mr. Witness, and welcome to the TRRC.
Jamanga enu serdebi te ñu ngi lay bismillah ci TRRC bi fi tay.
Okay, ma ngay delo nuyu jërëjëf.
We shall proceed in the Wolof language, as that's the language you opted to use before this commission today.
Mu ne legi comme yow da nga tanane Wolof ngay laka ci sa serdebi legi kon loolu la ñoo
degala.
So in that regard, you will listen to my questions in English, listen to the interpretation in Wolof, before you shall give your answers.
Ci biir loolu suñu dooree da nga may déglu pour moom su waxee si laaj su la laajee si angale da ngay déglu ñu lay lapatokat yi ñu nekk si gannaaw ñoo lay lapatol su ko defee nga tontu.
Baax na.
We've already met and you know my name, but for the record, it's Hadi Dande Jabi.
Fu mu nekk nii gisante nañ ci gannaaw te xam nga ne man maa tudd Hadi Dande Njaay.
Degala.
True.
I shall take you through your testimony before this commission this afternoon.
Te man maa waroon a jàppale man maa lay jàppale pour nga joxe sa serde bi si ngoon si nii.
Baax na.
Having looked at your statement, we shall go through the following issues.
Mu ne soo seetee si kayit bi moom xam na ne li ñoo waxtaantee mooy.
You will give us your background,
dang ñoo jox sa tur bi.
waaw.
which includes your educational background.
Bari nga wax ñu tamit sa école bi no jàngee fan nga dooree.
baax na.
You will tell us about your work experiences.
liggéey bi tamit ni nga liggéey tamit di nga ñu ko wax fii nii.
You will tell this commission about the duties and responsibilities you hold as an NIA operative.
Bari di nga wax commission bi tamit lu nekkoon sa liggéey bi si NIA foofu te lan moo nekkoon sa maxam bi foofu toonu si NIA.
Sa liggéey woon ak sa liggéey léegi.
Sa liggéey woon ak sa liggéey léegi.
baax na.
You shall also tell the commission the panels that were set up in the NIA during the periods of 1994 to January 2017.
nga ñu wax tamit mbootaay buñ taxawoon NIA depuis 1994 ba si
Till January 2017.
January 2017 di nga ñu wax mbootaay boobu noonu.
You shall also tell us the panels that you are a member of.
ba pare di nga ñu wax mbootaay boo xam ne yow bokk nga si mbootaay boobu noonu.
You shall tell the commission about tortures of persons that happened at the NIA headquarters.
di nga ñu wax tamit métital buñ defoon nit ñi foofu noonu si NIA bi.
You shall tell us who and how these tortures were carried
ba
out.
pare di nga ñu wax kan moo defal loolu ba pare naka lañ def métitalee nit ñi yooyu noonu.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, I think there's a technicality with Commissioner. He's not getting an interpretation.
ok Mandinka thanks.
He's not getting the Mandinka interpretation.
It's coming soon, very soon. We are making changes.
Interpretation box, are we ready?
Yeah, we are ready.
Thank you. Then at that point, Mr. Gajaga, you shall be given the opportunity to make any remarks you may have before this commission so that we can enjoy the slogan that we have of never again.
baax na.
suñu àggee ci fànn boobu Mr. Gajaga yow tam dinañ la jox yoon pour nga jox ñu sa kaddu bu mujj bi nga wax fii pour li nga xam ne moom mooy suñu wax bi fii pour loolu bu mu amati si réew mi pour ñu mën a taxawal loolu.
baax na.
Good.
At any point, should you need a break, you may inform me and I shall inform the commissioners to accord you that break.
waxtu boo soxlee pour ñu may la tuuti nga noppale ko wala nga bëgg a génn nga wax ñu ko dinañ la jox cër boobu.
baax na.
Are you ready and comfortable to proceed?
ndax pare nga léegi fu mu nekk nii pour ñu door.
waaw.
Yes.
Can you tell the commission your names?
mun nga wax commission bi sa tur ak sa santa.
maa ngi tudd Samba Gajaga.
My name is Samba Gajaga.
Please, can you give the commission your date of birth?
ban bés nga juddu.
maa ngi juddu 12 December 1964.
I was born on the 12th of December 1964.
Mr. Gajaba, you may sit down comfortably.
mun ngaa toog nga dal li gën ci yow li nga xam ne du la sonal.
And you may pull the mic a bit more forward.
mun nga xëcc microphone bi gën laa jegeñ.
waaw baax na.
waaw.
Is that better?
ndax gën na noonu baax na noonu pour yow.
waaw.
Can you tell the commission where you were born?
mun ngaa wax commission nga fan nga juddoo ban dëkk nga juddoo.
maa ngi juddoo Kër Samba Kala.
I was born in Kir Samba Kala,
Lower Ñoomi.
Lower Nyumi,
North Bank Region.
North Bank Region.
Can you give this commission your educational background?
mun ngaa wax commission bi sa xam-xam mooy sa jànga fan nga dooree ba fa nga mujjee sa xam-xam fu mu toll.
maa ngi jàngee suma primary school.
I had my primary school education,
Chairman Kër Baydam.
Chairman Kir Baydam,
Lower Ñoomi North Bank Region.
Lower Nyumi, North Bank Region.
Can you tell the commission the years
mun
that you
ngaa
went
wax
to primary school?
mun ngaa wax commission bi at yi nga door ca primary school ba.
dalee ko 1972.
I began in 1972
ba 1978.
up till 1978.
ma jeexal Chairman
I completed at Chairman Primary.
Then Berending Secondary.
I went to Berendin Secondary,
Lower Ñoomi District North Bank Region.
Lower Nyumi District, North Bank Region.
dalee ko 1978.
From 1978
1982.
up till 1982,
ma jeexal Berending.
I completed Berending,
ak secondary 4 living certificate.
the secondary 4 living certificate.
Can you tell the commission what you did next?
Then ma
mun ngaa wax commission bi lan nga def gannaaw loolu.
Then Chila joined Gambia Police Force.
That was when I joined the Gambia Police Force.
18 November 1982.
18th November 1982.
When I enrolled in the Gambia Police Force.
That was when I was enrolled at the Gambia Police Force.
Where were you posted?
Fan lañ la yóbbuwoon pour nga liggéey fa bi nga la jëlee police ba pare.
We passed out in 1983 April.
When I passed out in April 1983,
Banjul Police Station.
I was taken to the
Banjul Police Headquarters.
The Banjul Police Headquarters.
As a general duty.
As a general duty officer.
So you acquired training before you were qualified as a police officer?
Jàngal nañ la liggéey police bala ñu la jël pour nga door liggéey police.
That's true.
And you just told us that your position was as a general duty officer.
Wax nañu ne fa nga dooree yaa ngi dooree bunta bi ñoo ooyee general duty officer.
That's true.
Did you hold any other positions at the police force?
Ndax yore nga beneen maxaama ci bunti police bi foofu.
Police the posting beat patrol, posting on guards, beat patrol.
I was there going on beat patrol and on guard. That was what I was doing.
The guard House of Parliament.
And also guarding.
Responsible.
Guarding the House of Parliament, because at the time we were responsible for it.
And other government installation like the Ministry of Justice.
And the other government installations like the Ministry of Justice. The quadrangle. We were usually there on posting.
At this time,
guarding.
Was the PIU unit in existence?
Ndax waxtu boobu fekk na ñu taxawal bunta bi ñu ooyee PIU unit.
That was far from being established.
So at that time, it was the police force that were in charge of guarding government buildings.
Waxtu boobu mu ngi mel ni police ñoo yore liggéey boo xam ne ñoom ñooy garder place yi nga xam ne place yi nguur gi la ndax loolu lu am la woon.
Yes.
Yes.
In your statement, you stated that at some point you were transferred to the prosecution unit. Is that correct?
Am na foo wax ci sa kàddu bi ñu bind ne am na waxtu bi nga xam ne dañ la toxal yóbbu la bunta bi ñu ooyee prosecution mooy fi ñu àtte nit ñi ndax loolu lu am la.
Loolu dëgg la prosecution nekk naa fa from 1984 up to 1985.
That's true. I was at the prosecution from 1984 to 1985.
Did you receive any training before joining the prosecution unit of the police?
Ndax jàngal nañ la liggéey bi ni moo demee balaa ngaa dugg ci bunta boobu nga xam ne mooy prosecution unit.
Prosecution time boobu ñun ñoo nekkoon junior officers yi ñoo daan escort prisoners from jóge prosecution dem mile 2 jëli prisoners jóge mile 2 indi leen for prosecution suñ paree ñu delloo leen mile 2.
At that time, we were the junior officers at the prosecution. We would take prisoners from prosecution to mile 2 and also take them from mile 2 to the prosecution and return them back.
So you're telling this commission that you were not a prosecutor, is that correct?
Mu ngi mel ni yaa ngi wax commission bi yow sa boppa nekkuloo ki nga xam ne mooy àtte nit koo xam ne mooy prosecutor bi.
waaye dañu daan jàngal prosecution nag ci case yi nga xam ne yomba nañ.
But they were teaching us about prosecution on very easy cases.
Cases nga xam ne borom dafa ñëw plead guilty.
Cases where the individual will come and plead guilty.
Then ñun ñu jàng the brief facts before the magistrate.
And then we will learn the brief facts before the magistrate.
Magistrate bi dogal.
Before the magistrate passes judgment.
And this was in the year?
Bii ban at la woon?
85, 86, 87.
From 85, 86 to 87.
So you're telling us that you learned and got experience on the job?
Mu ngi mel ni yow yaa ngi jàngee ak nga am xam-xam bi nga def liggéey bi ci kaw liggéey bi nga jàngee.
dëgg la.
That's true.
Can you tell us the next branch that you were moved to in the police force?
nga ñoo wax ban fànn lañ la yóbbuwaat ci bunti police bi.
In 1987,
jëlee ma prosecution yóbbu ma special branch unit.
I was moved from the prosecution to the special branch unit.
More on unit being more responsible intelligence units in the police.
That was the unit responsible for intelligence within the police force.
Maneka for 1988.
I was there up till 1988.
And new arm transfer, departmental transfer from police to national security.
And then we had the departmental transfer from police to national security.
Can you tell us the full name of what you're referring to as national security?
Mun nga ñoo wax tour bi yépp place bi nga wax ni ne national security.
NSS, National Security Service.
That is the NSS, the National Security Service.
How long did you serve in the NSS?
Before NIA.
Ñata at nga def ci bunta bobu?
Ang for 1988 be the government Yahya Jammeh take over 1994.
I was there from 1988 until Yahya Jammeh took over government in 1994.
And you were just telling the commission that the name then changed from NSS to?
Yange wax commission bi ne waxtu bobu lañ wéci turi place bi légui ban tour lañ ko jox?
Ci lañ ko wéci jëlé ko NSS yobbu ko NIA, National Intelligence Agency.
That was when the name change took effect from the NSS to NIA, the National Intelligence Agency.
Can you tell this commission the position that you held
now
transformed into NIA?
Mun nga ñoo wax commission bi biñ wéccé tour bi nonu ñu taxawal ko S yow ban place nga yoré won fofu bunti NIA?
Bala mo wécceku fekk man ñu ma pose ci communication room bi.
Before the name change, I was posted to the communication unit room.
You communicate at other post places outside whenever time buñ la wara jox xibaar wala ñom ñu war ñoo jox xibaar ñun ñoo nekkon ci communication room.
We communicated with our post outside if we wanted to give them information or if there was any information that they wanted to pass on to us. We were the ones handling the communication unit.
To better understand, can you explain to the commission what type of communication you're referring to?
Mun nga wax commission bi pour ñu gën ko xam yan façon jokko ngay wax ni sone communication.
Moy communication bi nga xamne mo yoré wali liggéey bi NIA.
That is the communication, and that entails the work of the NIA.
Bu bëggé jox xibaar ñi nga xamne ñu ngi sori.
If we wanted to pass information to those people who were far away,
manam ñi nekk Basse wala ñi nekk Gunjur wala ñi nekk other yenen place yi nga xamne ñu ngi sori.
For instance, those that were in Basse or in Gunjur or in other far-flung places.
Wari ñoo jëlé ci suñ kilifa yi.
The information that we got from our seniors,
nañ leen ko pass,
that we will pass it to them.
Wala ñom ñu am lu ñoo pass xibaar bu ñoo pass ci office ci headquarter bi ci suñ kilifa ñom ñu jox ñuko.
Or those individuals may have information that they want to pass to our officers, that too will come to us.
Bobu mom daf doon 24 hours round the clock la ñu bu ñuy wàccé ñi monté.
And that unit operated for 24 hours in a day, and we changed shifts.
Communication bobu always bo ñu da nga fekk ni ci biir.
And in that communication unit, each time you went there, you would always find someone there. Whether it's in the night time or in the daytime.
So you're therefore telling this commission that that unit was actually an essential unit of the NIA headquarters.
Yange wan commission bi ne bunta bu am solo la ci walu liggéey NIA.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
Can you tell us where the NIA headquarters was situated?
Mun nga ñoo wax waxtu bobu kër bu mag bi nga xamne moy kër NIA fan la nekkon?
Mu nekk Marina Parade.
It was on Marina Parade.
Dakar Supreme Court.
Facing the Supreme Court.
Justice no share fence.
And they share fence with the Justice Department, the Justice Ministry.
Thank you. So now going back to the point of where you said that it changed name from NSS to NIA in 1994.
Jërëjëf léegi ñu dellu fi nga wax ne tur bi wécceeku na ci 1994 mu jógee ko NSS ñu tuddee ko NIA.
What position were you holding?
Ban place nga yore woon ci bunti NIA?
Aw bi mu wécceeku fekk maa ngi communication after mi guy take over.
When the changes took place, I was in communication, and after the takeover,
and Chilean form Algali Commission.
That was when the Algali Commission was established.
You guess to, okay.
Sorry, can you tell the commission when the Algali Commission was set up?
Mun nga wax commission bi kañ lañ taxawal sorry Algali Commission bi kañ lañ ko taxawal?
Algali Commission it was being taken over between 94-95 that.
Soon after they took over, between 94 and 95.
What was the purpose of the commission?
Takeover happened 22nd July 94.
The takeover took place on the 22nd of July 1994.
Algali Commission bi legi lana ko waral?
Algali Commission bi li ko waraloon mooy endo kilifa bi daf ko sos.
The leader established, set up the Algali Commission.
Can you tell this commission who you're referring to as the leader?
Kañ ngay wax noonu soo ne kilifa gi kooku kan la?
Former President Alhaji Yaya Jammeh.
The former President Alhaji Yaya Jammeh.
Jammeh.
You may continue.
Nga continue.
Daf ko sos.
He set it up.
Pour mu gestu ñi nga xam ne dañ daan evade tax maanaam duñ daan fay naamo.
To look into the issue of those who were evading tax, the payment of tax. At that time, that was rampant here.
Custom officers assets.
They were also looking into the assets of the custom officers. And those were the areas that they were mainly active in.
What position did you hold in the said commission?
Ci bunti commission bobu ban place nga fa yoré won?
Be légui ci officer xalé la because amna kuma don supervise ci Algali Commission bi. At
the time I was amongst the junior officers because I had someone who was supervising me in the Algali Commission and I worked under that person.
Manam operative la on dal dañ ma digal ne ma demal fele ma dem defal li ma def lool.
I was an operative. I would be given instructions, go to a particular place and I will go there.
Ma ngi don liggéey ci ndigali Ousmane Tamba ak Pa Yaya Badji.
I was working on the directorship of Pa Ousmane Tamba and Yaya Badji.
Can you tell us the positions they were holding? This said Ousmane Tamba and Yaya.
And then time.
Mun nga ñëw wa ñooñu Tamba bobu ak Ousmane yi nga tudda ni yan place lañ amé won?
Mono joju amna Tamba mo do nekk di officer commanding.
At the time I believe Pa Ousmane Tamba was the officer commanding.
Is it correct to say that he was the head of NIA?
Ndax nit mun na wax ne waxtu bobu mo jité won NIA?
No, he was not. He was not heading it. But those of us that were attached to the Algali Commission, he was our boss there.
Were the people who had to attend this commission arrested and detained at any point?
Ñi nga xamne ñom ñoo wara uyusi ci Algali Commission bi xana dañ leen jappon taj leen ben bërepp.
No.
So then your role was more of an investigator.
Yeah, wow.
Mu ngi melni dal yow da nga gëstu mbiri affaire yi.
Yes.
What position did you hold after the said commission?
Gannaaw commission bobu ban place nga yoré won?
Yeah, bi commission bi jéxé.
When the commission finished its assignment
1996.
In 1996.
Ci lañ ma post Bara.
That was when I was posted to Bara.
What were your responsibilities at Bara?
Lan ay won sa liggéey li nga wara doxal Bara?
Ma yon fofu as a liaison officer.
I was there as a liaison officer.
Continue to tell us where else you were posted.
Continue nga wax ñu gannaaw fofu fan ak fan lañ la yobbu pour nga liggéey fofu.
Ma nekk Bara be 99.
I was in Bara up till 1999.
Yobuma airport.
And then I was transferred to the airport.
Continue to tell us where else you were transferred.
Continue nga wax ñu place yi la yobbu.
Nekk airport be 99 up to 2001.
I was at the airport from 1999 up till 2001.
Yobuma Ndungu Kebe.
And I was transferred to Ndungu Kebe.
Ndungu Kebe ma nekk fa be 2003.
I was in Ndungu Kebe up till 2003.
I delsiwaat back headquarters.
And I returned back to the headquarters.
And it is correct to say at this time the headquarters was still in Banjul on Marina Parade.
Te nit mun na wax ne be boba bunti liggéey kay bi kër gu mag mu ngi nekkon Banjul Marina Parade.
Waaw be legi fa la ne.
Yes, up till now that's where it is to it.
Can you tell the commission what unit you were posted in?
Mun nga wax commission bi ba nga delsé ban bunta lañ la yobbu ci bunti liggéey kay bi fofu.
Fofu post nañ ma briefly invest.
Investigation unit. I was posted there briefly to the investigation unit.
maa ngi doon liggéey ci Ron Ousmane Sow.
And I worked under Ousmane Sow.
So you're telling the commission that at this time you were posted at the investigation unit.
Ya ngay wax commission bi waxtu bobu bi nga ñëwé ñu yobbu la bunta bi nga xamné ñom ñoy gestu mbir yi moy investigation unit.
And this unit was commonly known as Invest.
te bunta bobu ñu bari ñu ko oyé Invest.
True.
And you're telling us that at that time the head of Invest was Usman Sow. Is that correct?
Waxtu bobu ya ñoo wone ki jité bunta bobu moy Usman Sow ndax lolu dëgg la.
That's true.
Can you tell us of any incidents that happened during this period you were there?
Mën nga ñoo wax waxtu bi nga nekké fofu ndax dafa am ay xew-xew ya fa xewon.
Nak time bi ma fa nekk yaguma fa just happy ñetti weer la rek.
I was not there for long, between the space of 3 months.
Sheikh Omar Dieng.
At the time, Sheikh Omar Dieng,
ñu ko post on immigration.
he was posted to the immigration department.
Ñu ko attach panel bi interview passports and other documents
He
before nga mën ko acquire.
He was attached to the panel that would do investigations before they issue passports.
And ci la am problem ak Suleiman Massane, the permanent secretary.
That was when he had a problem with Suleiman Massane, Cisse, who was the permanent secretary. They could not come to terms, and I don't know what the reason was. And that was how I was moved from Invest and asked to go there and replace him.
At the time you were at Invest,
Invest
for those 3 months, can you tell this commission any names of persons who were arrested and brought to Invest?
Mun nga ñoo wax turi képp koo xam ne jàpp nañ ko ba isi ko ci bunta boobu ñu xamee Invest.
Jamono boobu nag no.
At that time, no.
Time boobu moom engaged woon ci dara.
At that time, I was not engaged in anything.
Invest.
Because at Invest,
time be more engaged mostly.
At the time that it is mostly engaged,
su fekkee ne occasions am na like accusation of nakala coup d'etat or any other such activities ci la dee busy.
Invest is usually busy only when there are issues like accusations of a coup d'etat or things of that nature. That is when it really gets busy.
So during your time, there were no such accusations. Is that what you're telling this commission?
No.
So continue to tell us what happened, what position you were posted to next.
Immigration 2003 to 2005.
I was at the immigration department from 2003 up till 2005.
You send my Darfur on peacekeeping mission.
And I was deployed to Darfur on a peacekeeping mission.
2005 to 2006.
From 2005 to 2006, 1 year.
But you were still under the agency, even though you were in Darfur.
Even Darfur.
That's true.
At that time, who was your boss?
Darfur, Daba Marena.
While I was in Darfur, it was Daba Marena.
Upon your return?
But even before we returned back,
2006.
In 2006,
we
were in Darfur, and we heard that there was a coup d'etat. We heard that people were being arrested and brought to the NIA.
Can you tell the commission some of the names that you heard were arrested and taken to NIA?
Yes, I heard that my boss was arrested, Daba Marena.
Alpha Ba.
People like Alpha Ba.
State Guard.
Of the State Guard.
Corps, State Guard.
People like Corps from the State Guard. I can remember those and many others.
Apart from them being arrested, did you hear they were being tortured?
Well,
what we heard is that there were some who have been tortured. And that my boss was boarded onto a vehicle to take them to Georgetown. Him and Alpha Ba and Co.
By saying your boss, you're referring to Daba Marena. You may continue.
We heard that the vehicle somersaulted on the highway and all of them escaped.
Did you believe in that story?
No.
No. I did not believe it.
Can you tell this commission what your instinct told you?
Munga wa commission bi sa xalaat lan la joxon?
Suma xalaat kay li ma jox mom moy ne li ñu wax du deug.
Well, my instinct showed me clearly that what they said was not the truth.
And also as an officer?
Te tamit yangi nek officer ci biir liggéey bi.
As an agent of NIA?
Nga xamne mu ngi liggéey bunti NIA.
You are aware of some of the procedures that you use to escort so-called detainees, isn't that correct?
Amna ne xam nga pexé yu ñu leen di jël ak jéego yi ñoo jël su ñoo yóbbu façon nit ñooñu bërëb ba bërëb lan ak lan lañ dee def seen warugal.
Loolu dëgg la.
That is true.
So continue to tell this commission why you had the belief that they did not escape.
Léegi wax ñu lu tax nga gëm ne ñii rëccuñ.
Parce que man suma bopp dama yàgga escort prisoner.
Because I personally, I've been escorting prisoners for a long time.
Magistrate court prisoner must not escape suma loxo.
And a prisoner once escaped from my custody at the magistrate court.
Rek dama ñaq ba toy xep.
That day I was sweating profusely.
Dama ko ut the whole day Banjul. Alaji Conte.
I looked for him for the whole day in Banjul. His name was Alaji Conte.
I stayed on police line, New Line.
I was staying at the police line, New Line.
Dama patrol ci street am bi be borset.
And I will patrol his street the whole night until daybreak.
Ko ut
looking for him.
Ena bes fekk di ba ngi dem leave UK.
One day
Couple Diba prosecutor.
Couple Diba went on leave to the UK.
Ñepp sé fan yoyu mu nema.
When he returned in those days, he said to me, he told me, I saw your prisoner in the UK. And then I said to him, then that's the end of me.
Charge me, you file before officer commanding prosecution.
I was charged and my file was taken before the officer commanding prosecution, Usman Ture. And he was supposed to forward it onto the IG. But every day that I wake up, I'll be praying until sunset. And God helped me. Just once, at one time, I think there was a particular document that he came back to look for here.
You got my information Marina Parade French school.
And I was given information that it was around Marina Parade at the French school.
Pending cases.
At that time, he had some pending cases. One of my badge mates, Mam Biram Job, he too was looking for him.
And them when
they saw him, they just rushed on him and they caught him and they fell into the ditch, the gutter.
The following day, you ended up before magistrate court, before Mrs. Ngom.
And the following day, he was brought to the magistrate court before Mrs. Ngom.
You sentenced for escaping from lawful custody.
And he was sentenced for escaping from lawful custody.
Sentenced for 6 months.
Sentenced for 6 months. That was what saved me in this case.
Prisoner escaped.
But when they tell you that a prisoner has escaped who was boarded onto a vehicle, and they must have handcuffed him, and you say that the vehicle has somersaulted and that individual has escaped, not just one person that escaped, but all of them. Well, then that escape is one that one can say there are other things involved.
So you're telling this commission?
Yeah, nobody can contemplate that or accept it.
So you're telling this commission?
Now,
that when you heard the story that Daba Marina and others escaped, you couldn't believe it.
No.
And that was due to the fact that you know the procedure that should be used to escort.
Te li waral lolu yow min nga te xam nga ni ñoo yobbo ñi nga xamne ñu ngi leen tiyé jëlé leen bërepp yobbu leen benen bërepp.
Wow. Yes.
Can you tell the commission the fears you had at that time?
Mën nga wax commission bi yow waxtu bobu lan lu tax nga ragal ban façon xalaat nga amone?
Time bu ma ngi dafa way suma xelan ngi jappone.
At the time I was in Darfur, but what I was thinking was that if I had another way or means of escaping to some other place and not return back to the Gambia, I would have done it. Because if such things happen, when you come back, you can get into the whole affair. You've not eaten from it, but still you'll be smeared with the oil. And that is a calamity.
Can you tell this commission what do you think happened to Daba Marina and others?
That's very clear. Even if you haven't gone to Mauritania, you will know that they have dinner at night. If you ask even a kid, when do they have dinner in Ghana, he will tell you it's at night.
Escape means that they've killed them.
So as an officer, knowing the procedures, that's the fear you had, that they had actually been killed and did not escape from custody.
Yow yangi nekk liggéeykat officer ci bunda boobu ak li xew noonu léegi yangi am xalaat bi ne ñii rëccuñ dañ leen rey.
That's true.
But you had no other option but to come back to Gambia in 2006. Is that correct?
Amuloo beneen yoon amuloo beneen pexe li nga def da nga am pour del si biir Gambia fii 2006 ndax loolu.
Wow. Yes. That's it.
Can you tell the commission the unit you were posted to upon your return?
Bi nga delsee mun ngaa wax commission bi ne ban bunte lañ la yóbbu woon.
Ma ñibbisee maa ngi woon headquarters again.
When I returned, I was at the headquarters again.
We're still referring to the NIA headquarters.
Bete mooy kër NIA bi foofu.
And what department or unit were you posted?
Ci ban faana biir NIA nga nekkoon.
maa ngi woon fu ñoo wax D3.
I was at the place called D3.
Can you tell the commission what the unit of D3 was responsible for?
Mun nga wax commission bi D3 lanay woon seen taxawaay.
D3 mooy ñi nga office bi nga xam ne.
That is the office which
mooy gëstu soldaar yi.
Which investigates soldiers.
Seen dissatisfaction wala ñi nga xam ne dañ gorontul ci seen biir ñun ñoo leen daan monitor.
Their dissatisfaction and also those members of the army that were disgruntled, we monitor them.
Those the only
ak lan moo dee nekk seen xalaat towards government ak yooyu noonu.
And what their thinking was towards the government.
Was that the only responsibility carried out by the D3 unit?
Loolu rek mooy liggéey bi D3 doon di def.
Waaw section boobu D3 moo ko handle on.
Yes, that was handled by the D3.
In your statement, you mentioned that an incident happened with some rebels. Is that correct?
Ci sa kàddu bu ñu binda wax nga ne dafa am li xewoon ak ay rebel.
Dëgg la.
It's true.
Can you tell this commission about that incident?
Mun nga wax commission bi loolu lan la woon.
Lii mu ngi xew 2007 or 2008 suma mun a fàttaliku.
This happened between 2007 and 8, if I can recall.
Dafa amoon benn rebel faction.
There was one rebel faction
bu ñoo wax MFDC.
Called the MFDC.
The MFDC.
Wow.
MFDC.
Can you tell the commission the meaning of the MFDC?
Ndax mun nga ñoo wax MFDC lan la tekki.
MFDC Mouvement de la Force Démocratique de Casamance maanaam ñooy laajte yi fi section la ci rebelle yi Casamance.
Is a movement for the democratic forces of Casamance, who were a section of the rebels.
You have ñu ngi nekkee boori Jakai at the Jakai site.
And who were based around Jakai.
In the Casamance.
In the Casamance.
So you received information, NIA received information about these said rebels, is that correct?
Mu ngi mel ni NIA am nañ xibaar ci mbir rebel yooyu.
Can you tell the commission the action that was taken when this information was received?
Mun nga wax commission bi lan lañ def yan jéego lañ jël bi ngeen déggee xibaar boobu.
After ci lañ njëkk a arrest one of them.
We first arrested one of them. I forgot the name, but he had a motorbike.
Who were the officers that arrested this particular gentleman with the motorbike?
Nyana japa wa jinga hamne kinga wax ni ne mu ngi amé won motorbike.
Job moko arrest Alaji Mor.
He was arrested by Job, Alaji Mor.
Alaji Mor ak Lamin Dabo suma fatewut.
Alaji Mor and Lamin Dabo, if I have not forgotten.
You may continue.
When they arrested him, that was when they began to get information. All other people who were involved. About the rebels that I'm talking about who are in Jakai, in Casamas.
And then Baneka into two fractions. They divide into two fractions.
They were divided into two factions.
Two fractions
and these were two factions that were not in good terms. But all of them belonged to the bigger group.
The faction
the one faction,
Senegalese government,
they were working in collaboration with the Senegalese government during the time of Ablaye Wade. But the others were opposed.
So at this point, you receive information about rebels?
Wow.
Yes. One of them was arrested?
Wow. Yes.
How many others were arrested at that point by the NIA?
Up to 7 of them. But those whose names I can remember.
One Abdul Salam Jame.
There was one Abdul Salam Jame. He was their marabu.
Custom officer's compound.
He was resident in Brikama, renting in the house of one custom officer.
One Lamin Tiu Sambu.
And one Lamin Tiu Sambu. He was resident in Bakari Sambuya. That was where he had a compound. If he leaves Bakari Sambuya, he would go to Casamas to their camp and return in the evening. And that was what he was doing.
So at this point, you've arrested 7 persons.
That's true.
Can you tell us where they were detained after their arrest?
When they were arrested, they were detained for a day or two within the NIA headquarters. While investigations were being conducted.
And after, on a daily basis,
they would be taken to Mile 2.
And
then they'll be taking them there from Mile 2 and bringing them.
At this point, who was the DG of the NIA?
Can I GT one NIA before? Can I GT?
If I can recall, I think it's Modul Lamin Jaju. He was called Mola.
From your statement, you've also indicated that a panel was set up. Is that correct?
Tisa statement bi kadu yimbinda wax nga ne ñu ngi taxawal ben panel moy ay kilifa yan dajale.
That's true.
Can you tell us the members of the panel?
Mun nga ñoo wax ñana nekkon ci biir panel bobu.
I was there personally in that panel. Alaji Mor Job was there. Lamin Dabo was there.
Musa Kinte
was there.
Lamin Bo Baji from the military. Numo Kujabi from the police. Yes, and I think CID personnel.
I think another CID personnel, but I cannot recall their names.
So you're telling this commission that the panel consisted of members from the police force?
From
the army?
And from the NIA
headquarters.
That's true.
Was this a normal procedure?
Wow.
Yes.
It was standard that there would usually be a panel set up from different sister forces to the NIA.
Wow.
Yes, all the panels that were set up, that's the way it was done.
In this panel, was there also a member or an observer from the State House?
panel bobu tamit ndax amna kenn ko xamne wala ñeena ñi nga xamne State House lañ joggé ñu bolé len ci panel bi pour ñu ñew seet.
Wow.
Yes.
And was that also a normal practice?
ndax lolu tam daf daan di farala am.
ñom ka ñoko daan jité sax.
In fact, they used to head it.
Can you tell us why they would be there? Why would there be a member to observe from the State House?
ndax mën nga ñoo wax lana tax nit ñi leena jëlé State House ñew di len bolé ci panel bobu pour ñu ñew seet.
Parce que mo leen lu fa mosana xew ci panel bi.
Whatever takes place within the panel.
ñom ñoo day joxe carte yoyu ñom ñoo day joxe information bobu ci head of state bi.
They would be the ones that would pass the information to the head of state, Yaya Jammeh.
On a daily basis.
There was nothing that was hidden from him as far as what was happening within the panel, and that was on a daily basis.
So
and they would be there for him.
Just to follow up, why was there the need? Why was there the need for the information to be taken back to Yaya Jammeh?
Pour ñu continuer lutax gaay di jëlé xibaar fofu pour ñu ko yobul Yaya Jammeh.
Mbir mi mom moy borom di.
He is the one in charge of everything.
Can you explain that better for the commission to understand?
Ndax lolu mën nga ko yaatal pour commission bi gën ko xam.
Because rebels from Casamance.
If you talk of rebels from Casamance,
Duga beat Gambia.
Having entry or making an entry into the Gambia, if something funny happens, at that time he perceived that he was not in good terms with Ablaye Wade, because there were some Gambian dissidents who were based in Senegal. And he had interest on those people, but he could not reach them. He could not get hold of them. So if you have someone from Senegal coming into your country, engaging in activities that one cannot understand, I think that was what was his interest and the anger he had about the whole issue. And that was why he did not want to miss out on anything. He wanted to make sure that he knew exactly what was going there. And that was why you'll always send someone from State House who would come to the NIA and be there as his personal representative.
Mr. Witness, thank you. I was just going to get to that point again, to say that you've indicated that there was always an observer from the State House.
Jërëjëf seede bi man doon di dem foofu pour seet ndax waxtu bu nekk dafa am ki jógee State House pour mu ñëw toogal ko foofu ci panel bi.
That's
and
true.
That person would be there to be the ears and eyes of Yaya Jammeh. Is that correct?
mu ngi mel ne kooku kii ñëw ci panel bi mooy nekk bot ak noppa pour Yaya Jammeh.
That's true.
Would it then be correct to say that it's because he gave the instructions in the first place to set up panels and investigate?
mu ngi mel ni daal njëlbeen moo joxe kàddu pour ñu dajale panel boobu pour tamit ñu di ko gëstu.
That is very obvious.
Can you tell us what happened to the persons who were detained when they were brought before the panels?
Mun nga ñoo wax léegi lanay dal ñi nga xam ne jàpp nañ leen te isi nañ leen ci kanami panel bi.
Waaw man de ci panel bi ma fekke woon de.
Well, the panels that I was present in
mooy bi ma wax ni.
is the one that I am talking about right now.
Ma ci fekkee.
What I've witnessed,
mun naa koo wax.
I can speak about it.
Tell the commission.
Because law feke gisko.
Because what you were witness to and what you saw, just explain how it happened and how it concluded.
Because all of them gudal mbayam nor. Mbayam nor boko pare gudal.
The Wolof proverb says that farming in the dry season, if you want to extend it or lengthen it, you will have to drink a lot of dust. And you will be dirty also. And you will not have the soap that will make you clean.
I think he said, and where will you take the soap from that will clean you?
Yeah, okay.
That's what I said. What you witnessed and what you know, say what you know and what you witnessed.
Common knowledge.
I know that it is common knowledge. That was what operated within the NIA. Whether I was present or not.
Up till this point, you still haven't told us what happened.
Yes, I'm
coming. Coming.
They
were interrogated to get something very clear from them. They were beaten mercilessly. They were beaten.
Is it correct to say they were tortured?
That's true.
How were they tortured?
They were beaten.
How were they beaten? Tell this commission.
They were beaten with whips.
On what part of their bodies?
You know, the one that does the beating does not choose what part of the body to beat on. When you are beaten with anger, you just hit.
How long were they beaten for?
It can be up to 5 minutes. The reason why the process did not last that long,
article of evidence
they were able to get an article of evidence from them. A lot of money. A lot of CFA.
Brand new notes.
And they were brand new notes.
Almost 1 million or 1.5 million.
About $1 million to 1.5 million.
Euro 1,500 or more.
And 1,500 or more in euros.
Finance department.
I took that money and I handed it over to the finance. For them to keep it for us until the time that they would be going to court.
Mr. Witness.
And 2 motorcycles that were impounded.
As you are aware, it is not an offense to arrest a person. For investigation.
Yes.
Because of an alleged crime.
Yes.
What we're looking at in this commission is about the torture. Whether it was for a minute, half a second, or 5 minutes, it was still torture.
Even
if it were 1 second, you have broken the law. That is true.
So can you tell this commission the persons who committed the torture?
Alaji Mor.
Lamin Dabo.
Musa Kinte. He's late now.
He's late now.
He's late. I was there. ARK also was there, but he's late. While the beating, normally it was done by Musa Kinte, Lamin Dabo, and Alaji Mor. Bobaji was there, but he was just seated where he among found wife, him talk, over talk.
Bobaji was there, but he sat at his place and did not do anything.
What actions did you take?
Yow lana lan nga def?
Well, for me, I just sympathized with them. I had no means.
Because am na ku toog mu ngi toogal waa ji foofu noonu am na yëngatu boo cee def wala noo cee sànnee kàddu.
Because if there's a guy who sat with one individual over there, there is a kind of movement or even a kind of word that you may say. If you are not careful, you may return to your home, but you may not spend the night in your house that day. At that time, I just newly got a wife. I had no children. I had nothing.
You are therefore telling this commission that you did not take any actions to stop the torture that was being carried out in your presence.
Legi linga wa commission bi ne moy bi gaay don di metital ñoñu yang fa won way defulo dara pour ñu gis ne ñu bayyi len.
Dama ko ñëmewul sax.
I do not even have that daring mind to do that.
Apart from the 7 rebels that were arrested and tortured at the NIA headquarters, were there any other persons attached to this particular incident who were arrested?
Gannaaw juroom ñaar ñoñu jappal nonu isi len NIA ndax amna ñeneen ñoo xamne tamit isi nañ len japp na wala ñu jappalen isi len fofu.
Wow.
Yes. If I can recall.
Can you tell the commission their names?
Amna ben soldat bu ñu wax Sam Kambay.
There was a soldier called Sam Kambay.
Koku soldat la won.
He was a soldier.
Mu ngi nekkon Farafenni camp xawma dal.
I think he was in the Farafenni camp. I'm not too sure. I don't remember.
Amna suñ benen college.
There was one of our colleagues
called Keba Seka.
He too. He was arrested.
In connection, how ban amna dimbal bu rebel yi waxone Keba dimbalé won na len ci fana go.
I think it was in connection with some help that the rebels said that Keba rendered to them.
So is it correct that
Sam Kambay too was accused by the rebels of assisting them in some other area. And that was the reason for their presence there.
So it is correct to say that the said Keba Seka and Sam Kambay were brought before the panel at NIA. Sam Kambay ak Keba Seka ñu ngi leen isi ci kanami panel bobu fofu ca NIA.
That's true.
Can you tell the commission the treatment they received before the panel?
Mun nga wax commission bi nañ lan lañ leen def fofu biñ leen isé ci kanami panel.
Ñomi torture nañ leen de.
They too were tortured. They were tortured.
In the same manner?
Ci ben anam bi comme niñ def ñalé.
By beating them with a wire?
Wow. Yes.
Were they beaten in any other form?
Ndax door nañ leen ci benen anam.
The same manner. The same fashion.
Can you tell us the officers that did the beating?
Mun nga ñoo wax ñana def door bobu ña leen door.
Ñett ñi ma ñaka tuddu rek.
The 3 I mentioned earlier.
And you yourself and Bobaji again just watched.
Mu ngi mel yow sa bopa ak Bobaji de ngeen tok rek setan.
Waaw.
Yes.
Naka ci paxe.
We had no other means.
Did you say anything to the persons who were being tortured and beaten?
Ndax amna lo wax ñi nga xamne ñu ngi leen téye woon di leen metital nonu.
Na muñ leen rek.
Just to ask them to persevere.
Duma ko ci kanam panel muñ leen.
And I will not say that in front of the panel to tell them to bear or to persevere. That was after we went out.
Can you tell us?
Keba.
Because Keba. That was why. I was with him in the office at the headquarters. The reason why anytime we meet we are able to joke. He used to call me my marabu. And up to today I also call him as my student. If you ask him, up till now, I did not raise my hand to touch him. And that is that cordiality that exists between the two of us.
After the incident
Kambay too, after the incident, and he was reinstated back into the army.
My boss, my boss.
And wherever we met, he will address me as my boss, my boss. Because he too, my hand did not touch him, and God knows. Maybe if they should come before this commission, and if you ask them, they will tell you.
Mr. Witness, you were still present in a panel where they were tortured.
Yes.
That's
true, that's true. I don't deny that.
And it is also common knowledge that torture was rampant at the NIA headquarters. Is that correct?
Very
It's
well.
also correct that many panels were set up.
There's many. You can't name them all.
Most of the instances, the people that were brought before those panels were tortured in front of panel members.
That's true.
And no action was taken by any officer to stop any of the tortures that were happening in those panels.
Who has that means?
Is it also correct that a torture room existed at the NIA?
Investigation, right?
That is investigation.
Can you explain the torture room?
Mr.
Witness, as I had explained earlier, we have interpretation going on. So I'm just pleading with you that you wait for them to interpret, then you can give your answer. Thank you.
I want the whole session to...
We shall soon finish.
To go quickly.
But just so that it can be clear on the records, just allow the interpretation, then you give your answers.
Okay.
Thank you. You may continue, Uncle Musa.
Yeah, okay, can you repeat the question again?
Can you describe what the torture room was like?
Investigation room.
That was the investigation room. When you go inside,
two office.
You would have two offices on the right. And the whole is where you have the warehouse. And inside there was a metal bed attached. Attached to cement on the floor.
So it is correct that it was attached in a way that it would not move around.
Except if it is a bulldozer that can remove it.
So that when people were put on it to be tortured, the bed would not move.
Wow. Yes.
Can you tell us if there was anything else attached to that bed?
No, that was the way it was.
We've received information that it had shackles attached to the sides.
Chain.
Wow. I mean, chains.
I did
not avert my mind to those chains, but it could be.
Do you know what the color was of the room?
Well, whatever they tell you is there. You can even have more than that in there. Red.
So the room was created in a way that it would cause fear for anybody who was taken in there.
Wow. Yes.
You've already told the commission that torture was rampant at the NIA headquarters.
That's true.
Can you tell the commission who carried out those tortures?
Munga wa commission bi ñana doon di def metital bobu di té nit ñi di len ticatu.
Ki joxe ndogal rek.
The one that was given the directives.
In this commission, we like to hear names.
Ci commission bi dañ bëgg di dégg ay tour parce que dañ ko binda ñu mëna xam kana wax li kana def li.
Borom dëkk bi.
The one who was in charge of the country.
Would that be said to be Yaya Jammeh?
Ndax lolu nit mëna wax ne Yaya Jammeh la?
Yes.
Rek mo am sañ-sañam
bi. He was the only one who could do that.
Would it be correct to say that he gave the orders for the tortures to be carried out?
Mu ngi melni nit mëna wax ne dal mom mo joxe ay cadeau pour ñuy té nit ñi di len metital nonu.
Wow.
Yes.
But then can you tell the commission the persons who carried out that torture itself?
Waye légui mën nga wax commission bi ñi nga xamné ñom ñoo fa nekka di ticatu nit ñi.
Man de time mo fa nekka mom.
Well, for the time that I was there,
panel bi nga xamné man ci la bokkon.
And in the panel that I was a part of,
ñun ñi responsible on that particular panel bobu non.
Those who were responsible for that particular panel,
ceetu yu fa xewon ñun ñoko def.
The tortures that took place there, we were the ones that did them.
Wa yenen panel yi nak,
as for other panels,
yi fa xew te man ko dégg,
the things that happened there that I got to hear,
waaye dumay gis dumay fekke.
But I never saw them. I was never present.
Da nga dégg dara,
you hear something,
am nga ne amna,
you know that it has happened,
waaye di nga gëm ne amna,
and you'll believe that it has happened.
waaye dana fekk gisuloo wala fekkewuloo.
But at the same time, you would not have been able to see it, or you were not even present.
NIA mom at that particular time.
But at the NIA at that particular time, if they told you that something happened,
100%.
Mark it 100%.
Wow.
Is it correct that the junglers, those known as the black, had access to the NIA?
Ndax deug la ñi ñoo oyé jonglers wala black am nañ loxo pour ñew ci panel bi fofu.
Ah wa ñoy kay ñoy fa ëpp doole sax.
Yes, they were more powerful than us there.
Kër jambour so fa duggo bo xamné do konkon duñ leen entrer nga dugal sa bop.
Because if you enter into someone's house and you did not even knock before you enter,
am fa duggu no la nexé.
And you would go in there as you please, and you leave as you please, then it means that person is very confident in whatever they are doing.
So you're confirming that they did carry out tortures at the NIA?
So mu ngi melni ya ngi digal li ne ñom ñu ngi doon di def ay metital ci NIA bi fofu.
Dafa am sax.
Yes.
And some of these tortures were done at odd hours in the night and morning.
Metital yoyu yenay ci ay waxtu yu graw lañ ko def moy xaji guddi yenay suba tel ñël.
That is true.
At some point during your testimony, you also mentioned that the rebels were being taken to Mile 2 central prisons. Is that correct?
Amna fena fo xamne ci sa wax ci sa kaddu yi ne amna waxtu bo xamne dañoo yóbbu rebelle Mile 2 ndax lolu lu am la.
That's true.
Was there a court order for them to be taken to Mile 2?
Ndax atekay bi ñom ñoo joxe kaddu pour ñu yóbbu len Mile 2.
No.
It is therefore correct to say that NIA officers had the authority to carry persons and have them detained at Mile 2 central prisons without any court order.
Mu ngi melni kon nit mun na wax ne NIA dañ am doole pour japp ni ñi nga xamne ñi nga xamne ñom ñoo leen japp ñu yobbu leen Mile 2 denc leen fofu fekk anduta ben kayit bo xamne mu ngi joge ci atekay bi.
Wow.
Yes.
And this procedure was rampant.
Te lolu lu bari la won.
Wow.
Yes.
And it was done to men and women.
Te goor ak jigen yépp lañ ko daan di def.
Yes, it used to happen.
Thank you, Mr. Witness.
Okay.
Earlier in the testimonies, we had received a testimony from Muminu Balde.
Bañ doore nit ñi sédé di ñëw di wax fi amna ku ñu oyé Muminu Balde ñëw na wax na fi.
And he had indicated that he was arrested.
Te wax na fi ne dañ ko jàppoon.
in a rebel incident.
Ci mbiri rebelle tax nak ñu japp ko.
And that he was tortured before a panel.
Ndax ñu te wax na tamit ne ñu ko metital bu baax ci kanami panel bi.
Were you aware of this incident?
Ndax yëgoon nga boobu.
Momi ni de.
As for Mumuni,
Man yeguma fuñ ko arresté.
I am not aware of when he was arrested.
Because mage setan testimony bi.
Because I watched his testimony.
Ne mom dañ ko arraignon before Brikama Magistrate Court.
He said he was arraigned before the Brikama Magistrates Court.
Case bi ma wax ni.
And this case that I'm talking about,
ñi dañ len man ñu ñoo len yóbbu Banjul Magistrate Court.
we were the ones that took them to the Banjul Magistrates Court.
Fofu lañ len atté.
And that was where their court, that was where they were prosecuted.
Man ma tender exhibits si.
I tendered the exhibits,
Xaalis bi.
the money,
Ñaari motorcycle yi.
the 2 motorcycles,
ak sako galaaj yi gaay amé won.
and a bag of charms which they had with them.
If I may correct you, Mr. Witness.
Su fekkee ne mun na la teg ci yoon seede bi.
The said Muminu Balde.
Muminu Balde bi ñu wax nii. Bi mu waxee fii.
Indicated that he was taken to the Banjul High Court.
Wax na ne dañ ko yóbbu Banjul High Court.
Banjul High Court.
But he had meant to say the Banjul Magistrate Court.
waaye Banjul Magistrate Court bi la bëggoon a wax.
That was his testimony.
Kon dafa mistake na Brikama.
Then he made a mistake by saying Brikama.
He indicated that he was taken to Banjul.
Wax na ne Banjul lañ ko yóbbu woon.
And he also indicated that it was in the incident of the rebels being arrested and charged.
te mu ne loolu mooy ci mbiri rebelle yi nga xam ne jàppoon nañ leen ba pare ñu tuumal leen.
And further indicated that you were a member of the panel.
te continué na wax na ne yow bokkoon nga ci panel boobu.
And you were part of the persons that hit him.
te bokk nga ci ñi nga xam ne dóoroon nañ ko.
During his interrogation.
biñ ko laaj waxtu biñ ko laaj.
Kon dafa jum de man amul kenn ku ma dóor foofu.
Then he made a mistake because I did not hit anyone.
Because ñeneen ñi yëpp su ma leen dóoruma ñoom Keba dóoruma ñoom Sam Kamba gisuma man duma ko war a tànnee moom kenn rek dóor ko.
If I did not beat the others, Sam Kamba and others, I see no reason why I would select him specifically to hit him.
It is our duty to put it before you.
Wow.
Yes.
Lii suñu liggéey la pour ñu wan la ko.
Yes.
It has been received before the commission.
parce que lii xibaar la boo xam ne commission bi jot na ko.
And he was very clear with the names that he stated in his testimony.
te tur yu mu fi wax dañ ko setoon bu baax.
And
Yes.
he indicated that you were one of the persons who hit him.
te wax na ci waxam ne yow kenn nga ci ñi nga xam ne ñoo ko dóor.
I can only remember that I hit him. If I had hit him, I would have said so.
Apart from that panel, were you part of any other panel that was set up at the NIA?
gannaaw panel boobu ndax bokkoon nga ci beneen panel boo xam ne taxawal nañ ko NIA.
Déedéet.
No.
Are you still serving at the NIA?
ndax ba tey yaa ngi liggéey NIA.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you tell us about any other human rights violations that were reported to your office while serving at the NIA?
ndax mun nga ñoo wax yeneen yaaxa yele fi doomi aadama yi nga xamoon ne amoon nañ bi nga xam ne wax nañ leen ko ci seen office bi foofu ndax di ñu mën a wax yooyu.
loolu moom xam naa daf daan am toujours ndax.
I know that was happening frequently because
gannaaw panel bii nii 2007 2008.
After this panel,
2008 dama génnaat.
in 2007 and 2008, I went out
dem Amdalaay.
and went to Amdalaay.
maa ngi foofu 2008 2009.
I was there 2008, 2009.
Kañ almost 2010.
Up till almost 2010.
I ñëw State House briefly.
I came to the State House briefly.
For 8 months laa fa am.
I spent 8 months there.
8 months la am State House.
I spent 8 months at the State House.
ma delluwaat Amdalaay.
I returned back to Amdalaay.
ma nekk Amdalaay 2010.
I was in Amdalaay in 2010.
2012.
Up till 2012.
2012, around December 2012.
Around December 2012.
And January 2013.
Then in January of 2013,
you appointed as acting director general.
I was appointed as the acting director general.
So the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
To the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
I replaced Benjamin.
And I replaced Benjamin.
And for 8 months.
I was there for 8 months.
You redeployed me back to the National Intelligence Agency.
And I was redeployed to the National Intelligence Agency.
At the time?
And posted to Amdalai. Subsequently.
At the time when you were at the NDEA,
NDEA,
did you have any cases of human rights violations?
ndax am nga dara li nga xamne bokk na ci nga xamne moy yaaxa yele fi doomi adama yi.
No, by the grace of God, I did not had to face any of those situations.
Were people detained beyond the 72 hours limit in the Constitution?
Ndax ay nit yi nga xamne japp nañ leen ñu téye leen li nga xamne ëpp na 72 hours moy ëpp na ñetti fan ko comme ni suñ constitution bi ni mu ko waxee.
No.
Did that apply to the NIA?
Ndax loolu tam bokk na ci NIA bi.
That was rampant. That was rampant there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Witness. I have no more questions for you this afternoon.
Jërëjëf seede bi amatuma luma la laaj.
I hand over the witness to the commissioners.
Thank you very much, my counsel, and thank you, Mr. Gajaga, for your testimony before the commission.
Jërëjëf counsel, jërëjëf Mr. Gajaga, li nga nangu pour ñëw wax ci kanami commission bi.
How much interaction did the Drug Enforcement Agency have with the NIA on a daily or weekly basis? What's the what programs and activities do you coordinate with them essentially?
Lan ngeen seexoo ak waa National Drug Law Enforcement Agency pro yan façon programme moo nekk seen diggante bés bu nekk wala bés bu ay bu nekk li nga xam ne loolu ngeen di doxal seen diggante mooy NIA ak National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
xam ne kon time bi mu fa nekk moom am na ñoom rapport because gannaaw ñoom suñu sister service lañ.
While I was there, we had a rapport since they were a sister service.
And then sàkku ci ñoom.
We used to request from them
ndimbal,
assistance.
Ndax lu kenn man ñaara ko ko dàq.
Because whatever one person can do, two can do better.
Ndax foo gis ñu post drug law enforcement officers.
Because wherever you see a drug law enforcement officer posted, you would also find an NIA officer.
And then that rapport, if some officers detect.
We usually had that rapport at the time, so that if my officers were unable to detect something, those other officers from the other unit would detect it. And they used to assist us on that aspect.
Because
all of us, to put it briefly, we are all geared towards national security.
And in your own structure, secretariat structure or service structure, did you have a unit dealing with intelligence? That's not the area or jurisdiction of NIA.
Ndax ci seen bunta bi yéen am ngeen faana boo xam ne ñoom ñoo am taxawaay boo xam ne ñoom ñooy doxal xibaar yu xóot yi nga xam ne moom la ñu ooyee intelligence bi nga xam ne boobu bokkewut ak li nga xam ne mooy NIA bi di doxal.
Am nga NDEA.
Well, you know the NDEA.
ñaar yëpp la ñoo doxal.
They perform the two functions. Because it's a plainclothes institution. If they sit down with an NIA officer, if they don't identify themselves, you would not be able to know who is an NIA officer or who is a drug law enforcement officer.
Legole xibar yow drug enforcement officer bi amna xibar bu la rëcca yow nga xamne do ko mëna apprehend at that time.
Sometimes information escapes you, or a suspect escapes you who you cannot apprehend at that particular time.
Nga pass information bi nga nek am lay pass ko bara.
You could be in Amdalai, but pass on the information to those in Bara.
Officers yi nek fofu non.
The officers that are there. When the person gets there,
you apprehend, check, you find out from the individual.
They will apprehend the person and find out from that individual.
Intelligence.
You come to see that all of that is intelligence.
I'm not certain operations you have.
But there are some operations where
NDA,
the NDEA, and have some powers.
You anytime when break and enter when suspect
which allows them to break and enter into places if they actually suspect something to be in there,
like drugs.
Why NIA but the NIA don't have such.
NIA munna collect intelligence mu pass ko fim ko wara pass.
The NIA are supposed to collect intelligence and pass them to the relevant institutions
for consumption.
For consideration.
For concern police or concern drug NDA.
Whether it was something concerning the police or something concerning the drug law enforcement agency.
But
if you do something which is far and beyond that, you will have what the Wolof will say, my mother sent me. Because each one has something that you are tasked with. But if you go beyond it, you have broken the law.
So the emphasis that last week we were, during the testimonies here, that we were putting on a very clear division in terms of jurisdiction between NIA and the Drug Enforcement Agency, that your suggestion would be that it's not that concrete, it's not that clear. We were saying last week that NIA had absolutely no business dealing with drug enforcement. Would you endorse that?
liñ fi doon di wax bés bu ay bi passé nii ne liggéey NIA ak liggéey drug squad dañ utee ba ñu dem ba ci fana boo xam ne wax nañ ne NIA amuñ benn yoon pour doxal li nga xam ne mooy liggéey NDEA waaye yow sa kàddu li mu wone mooy ne ñaari mbir yi seen liggéey soriwaate wut dafa mel ni seen liggéey dafa xala nuroo comme ni ñoo doxalee seen liggéey ndax noonu la mel.
waaw loolu dafa des ci liggéey bi ni mu war a demee.
Depends on how the work should be carried out.
fekkee ne tey gis naa barab drogue nga xam ne man maa fa sës man NIA bi maa fa sës.
If, for instance, today I see or find drugs at a particular place, and I, being the NIA officer, I am the one at the place, and I know that no drug law enforcement officer is close by, and if I delay in taking action, the thing would be exposed.
And
there and then,
I'm not power to arrest Borom.
I have the power to arrest the individual. But after arresting him and detaining him, that is where I would inform the relevant authorities and tell them, here is your case, so that he would continue with him. That is the way it should be.
Thank you. Commissioners, if you have any questions, yes, Deputy Chair, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Deputy Lead Counsel, for leading the process. Thank you, Mr. Gajaga.
Ki mo toppa ci chairman bi mu ne jërëjëf chairman jërëjëf legal counsel bi ba pare mu ngi laa gërëm yow tam Mr. Gajaga.
My first it's not a question, it's an observation.
Mom lim gis nekkul ne laajte la de waaye lii daf ko gis.
The shackles, they were not chains, they were round circles that were attached to the walls.
li nga xamne liñ doon di wax nonu chaîne nekkut ne chaîne la waaye ay weñ la yi nga xamne dafa la wóor yi nga xamne dañ leen posé ci maraaj bi.
Did you see them?
ndax gis nga yooyu.
moom la mooy grillage yi nii rek.
That's what I'm talking about. These are
the ko attaché ci wall bi ak lal bi bokkul.
The where
foogoon daf ne ay chaîne xaw ma something waaye comme li nga wax nii.
Okay, so these were round circular objects that were attacked so that it would facilitate tying the hands or the legs of the person to the wall or in whichever position that you wanted.
mu ngi mel ni yooyu ay weñ la yi fa def mel ni grillage foo xam ne dinañ fa dugal loxo nit ñu posé ko fa ak fu ñoo dugalee tànki nit ñu posé ko fa pour borom bu mu mun a yëngatu.
waaw.
Yes.
Okay. Now I would like to first of all thank you for your honesty in accepting that you were afraid to stand up and speak out.
mu ngi laa gërëm li nga wax ne lu affaire yooyu bi ñoo xew da nga ragaloon de pour jóg taxaw pour wax.
How much did the fear factor permeate the services, whether it was the NIA, the police, so that the officers who were entrusted with taking care of the citizenry abdicated their responsibilities with the excuse that they were afraid to stand up and speak out against injustice?
mbir mi nim demee muy bunti police muy bunti NIA ak yeneen bunti karange yi seen taxawaay li mu waroon a doon mooy ñu aar waa réew mi waaye nag dañ mujjee gis ne ñooñu yëpp bàyyi nañ seen liggéey boobu ñu sànni ko ca gannaaw te boo waxee ñu ne dañ ragaloon looloo tax mënuñoo taxaw pour def seen liggéey yooyu ndax mun nga ñëw wax loolu lana ko waraloon.
loolu li ko waraloon dëkk bi dafa jaxasoon rek.
The reason was because there was confusion within the country. There was a period where even if you did not eat food, you'll be smeared with the oil. So that you ought to be very careful. Whether you are involved or not, once you are appointed or accused, you are in trouble.
First time
that was what happened during the first time. When even if you are included as a member of the panel, and when they are doing whatever they are doing and you did not take part, you will be perceived as someone who is not loyal to the president. And if you were to be reported, if you should spend the night in your house, then you should be counting yourself as lucky. Do you not know that at that time it was easier for me to sleep during the daytime than during the night?
Because
the fishermen would go during the daytime. But those who fish men would come in the night. So if you sleep, you should know how you sleep. That was why I slept in the daytime and I don't during the night. I used to have my trousers and my shirt on. If you hear a car park, then you should not even have locked your window in the first place. We got to a stage whereby we did not have any means of doing anything. That was the entire reason. That was how the things were at the time. That is why we are praying day before yesterday. It's better than yesterday. But may God make it such a way that today is even much better. Because day before yesterday was during the era of Sadauda. Yesterday was owned by Mr. May God make it that today would be better. And God help us all. Yes.
Does Mr. not have a name?
Mr. Bobu ndax amu tur. Mr. Bobu nonu ndax amu tur.
The man. Well, when I say the man, everyone knows.
Thank you.
Jerejef.
Thank you. Yeah, Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please.
Commissioner Carr, daf la bëgg laajte.
Thank you. This is just a follow-up comment to a follow-up question to your comment.
Pour continuer la teg ko ci ko sa wax bi nga wax.
Because he said if people were doing certain things, for instance, torture, and you didn't torture, you'd be considered disloyal.
Parce que wax nga ne su fekkee ne ñi nekk ci panel bi foofu ñu ngi ticcatu nit te yow bokkuloo ci dañoo ne kon yow nekkuloo koo xam ne yaa ngi toppa ndigali waa ji.
And since you have told this commission that you didn't participate in torture, were you considered disloyal?
Ndax comme que yow bokkuloo ci ñi nga xam ne ñu doon di métital nit ñi ndax yow tam dañ la boole woon ci ay nit ñi nga xam ne bëgguñu woon wala topp ñoon waa ji.
man torture waaye am na stratégie bu ma doon play.
I did not torture, but there was a strategy that I used to play.
bu gars yi di doon ma dama wax ne waxal dëgg.
When they were beating them, I'll be telling the victim, speak the truth. I will get up, take action as if I am going to hit, but in effect, I will not do the hitting. You must make some action. Even if you don't hit, just fun. So that when they see you, they say, well, this guy too is making an effort. But you would know what you know. Yeah.
Thank you, and thanks for your testimony.
Thank you.
Jerejef tamit li nga ñëw garal sa kaddu fi.
All right, thank you. If there are no further questions, if you have any concluding remarks to make, Mr. Gajaga, please go ahead and do them now.
Léegi Mr. Gajaga yow tam dinañ la jox yoon pour nga garal ay kaddu wax yi nga xam ne moom ngay tëjee sa waxtaan bi.
Waaw maa ngi nuyu ñëpp ñu fi teew.
I greet all present.
Chairman.
Starting from the chairman,
vice chairman,
the vice chairperson, and the council. I was thinking she was going to fire me with very difficult questions. I thank her. What I am to say is that we are pleased with this. Because what happened here yesterday, if it has not affected you, it has affected your relative or a friend of your relative. And this country is small. If I am not related to you, if we are not of the same ethnic group, I am married to someone who probably is from the same ethnic group as yours. Or I have given a wife to someone who comes from your ethnic group. So what that means is that so the fact that the distribution of the relatives is what brings the unity. There is no one who will stand and tell me that I have never offended, or they have never offended me. I think that is something that can be credited only to the messengers of God. But that is here a lot. If that is to happen, and God helps you until you are able to be present in a place such as this one, and they ask you to come and explain what you have done or what has been done to you, then you must praise God a lot. If I told those that you did it to are still surviving up till today, you seek forgiveness from them, so that when they forgive you here, it is better for you to go up there and be lying. If I told you you are ashamed to face the individual and own up to what you have done to him or her, but here has afforded you the opportunity. Possibly, the individual is sitting down and watching you. You appeal for forgiveness. All of us have been created by God. And God says, if you offend me, ask me forgiveness and I will forgive you. Therefore, a human being, if you have offended him or her and ask for forgiveness, they should be in a position to forgive you. Maybe they will just see you as because of your imperfection or the influence of Satan which made you do such things. But he too, God has given him or her the wisdom to be able to see reason to forgive you. Because today it's you, tomorrow maybe him or her. I have offended him. If he forgives me, he too does not know whether there will come a time when he would offend someone and would have to ask for their forgiveness. So that when he too asks for forgiveness, he would be able to get it. That is why this commission is, I'm very pleased with its establishment. Because this is where someone can pass through. When you are called, you present yourself and say what you have done, and thereafter seek for forgiveness. If the individual sees you seeking for forgiveness, he will know that, well, truly speaking, this individual deserves forgiveness. Thereafter, he would forgive you. And if you meet in the streets, and you said to him or her, you saw me at that place or that day, and if he says to you yes, then you say to the person, well, forgive me. The things I said I did to you, I did. But then forgive me. That is why I am appealing to those that I work with and who are yet to appear before this commission. Anyone that comes here, say what you have done and what happened. What you have seen, what you are witness to, and just say it. You will not come here and be flayed or killed. But if you have the confidence to meet people, if you are afraid of people, and you have the confidence and not afraid of God, what all the things that you have done, people don't know, except if you tell them. But God knows everything that you have done. Before you go there and be arguing with God, just say what you know. Going around, eventually you'll come back to the same position. There are some people who would come here to testify. They will take long coughs. Eventually, they will come back to where they started. That's what I said earlier on. Plowing in the dry season, there is a need to extend it. Just say what happened. So that the commission would be pleased. And God would be pleased. And all of you would be saved. Because no one should put you here and taking you in rounds and rounds until the sun sets. And tomorrow you come back again. The next day you come back again. Is that good? That is not good. Just say what happened so that you can continue your assignment and the individual too can go home. Yes. I should go and cross over to Nyomi. I'd have asked them to prepare for me chair. If the ferry leaves me behind, what am I going to do? Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gajaga, for your testimony and for your concluding remarks you just made. This brings us to the end of the proceedings for today. We will resume tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. sharp. Thank you so much. Meeting is adjourned.
Uh-huh.